So this movie is on the Name Manager dialog box for named ranges, and we've been using this functionality in the two prior movies. We're going to go into it a little bit more in depth. The Name Manager allows us to establish a new range. There's some functionality in the refers to field that we haven't quite seen yet. We can edit an existing named range. We can delete an existing name range. And there's a filtering functionality with a Name Manager that allows us to get a subset of named ranges for us to more easily deal with a large number of our named ranges. So I have a spreadsheet set up, and I've set up a couple of named ranges, several of them. And I've also set up a couple of tables. Going to the Formulas tab, left-clicking the Name Manager, we see the ones that I'm talking about that I set up. We've been using the Name Manager in prior movies, and we know we can set up a new range by clicking New, where we can define the name of the range, the scope, which you can define either to be the workbook level or a worksheet level. You can, of course, set up a comment to further explain the named range you're establishing. And the refers to field, you can collapse down, select a field, and identify the geographical region that you're naming. I'm going to cancel out of that. The refers to field in that dialog box has a little bit different functionality than the refers to field in the Name Manager dialog box. We can collapse the region down, define a region, explode it back up, and if we change our mind, we can left-click the X button and divert back to the region that existed before. Or, collapsing it back down, selecting, we can left-click the check box and accept that as the redefinition of the geographical range of that region. We can also edit any one of the named ranges we defined, and we can rename it. We can change or establish a comment, and we can change the geographical area or the formula in the refers to field. What we can't do is change the scope. Once we define the scope of the named range, we're stuck with that. I'm going to cancel out of that. We can also delete a region, and all we have to do is left-click delete. We get the warning, are you sure you want to delete the named cell? I'm going to left-click yes. And the Name Manager allows us also to filter on several different subsets of our regions that are displayed in this dialog box. We can filter by scope, either by the worksheet or the workbook level. All of these are workbook level. We can filter on the names with errors. And in this case, I have an error because I have a region that was defined to be a specific cell, and I deleted that cell. Which brings up the point that when you delete a cell that's a named range, you do not delete the range simultaneously with deleting the cell. What you do is you create an error for that named range. I'm going to drop down and left-click names without errors, and of course we get that as a filtered result. And we can also filter on defined names, which are the names that we defined using the functionality in the Define Names group on the Formulas tab, as opposed to table names, which Excel establishes when you set up a table. And I have two tables set up in this workbook, Table 1 and Table 2. And when I select one of these tables, I also do not get the option to delete the table. In order to delete the table, you have to actually go to the table and delete it. You can't delete it from the Name Manager. I can also only edit the name of the table and the comment that's associated with that table. I'm going to cancel out of that and clear all of the filters and display all of the ranges and the tables in this workbook. So that's the Name Manager. We can set up a new named range. We can change the referenced geographical area in the refers to field. We can edit an existing named range. We can delete an existing name range as long as it's not a table. And we can use the filter to help manage our way through a large number of named ranges and tables.